Share out. What type of writing are we studying this trimester? After seeing Lorraine do her demonstration in my class, I tried to incorporate more strategies than I normally do, but I wasn't sure which ones would work toward my objective. So what I did was decide which strategies would work well with this lesson where it wouldn't take away from the learning. You're going to use your history lesson, chapter 3, lesson 1, that I rewrote for you, and you're going to find the topic sentences in each of the paragraphs and the supporting details. And that's going to give you the important information that you need to know for lesson 1. Why do you need to know this information? All 6th through 8th grade students in Long Beach are responsible for learning to read and write expository text. I chose to modify the text so that I could control where the topic sentence was. The topic sentence many times in the paragraphs in the textbook were not the first sentence of the paragraph, so I wanted to make sure that they were. Now, we've pre-read text before. What does pre-read mean? Share your ideas with your shoulder partner. I use think, pair, share to give them time to think. They think on their own, and then they share with a partner so they're able to practice speaking it, and they feel comfortable speaking with like one other person. Let's share out. What does pre-read mean?
Pre-read means like before reading.
How many of you were thinking before reading? Okay, that's right. Pre-read means before you read. First thing we're going to pre-read is the focus question. When you pre-read, you also look at pictures. This is a map of a continent that I'm sure you've seen before. We'll turn the page. And the last paragraph we're going to read is called Big Deal. Great. As you're reading, if you come across any vocabulary words that you're not familiar with, I want you to underline them, and then when we read together, you can ask me about those. Good. I see some people reading the map as well. Very good. It's important. This early human lived 1.75 million years ago. They named this ancestor Australopithecus. Now okay, I see some hands in the air. Samuel, you have a question?
Yeah. I know
Australopithecus. So let's please point to the phonetic spelling of that word, and let's read that word together. Australopithecus. Good. Now that you can say it, let's see if we can figure out what that word means. What do?
You read the sentence and try to figure out if the definition is in the sentence.
So let's read the sentence before it, that sentence that uses Australopithecus that starts with the word this. When I modify the text, one of the things that I do so that the vocabulary is not watered down, because that's one of the things they need in a content class, what I'll do is I'll put the vocabulary in a sentence with context clues. So they're getting that vocabulary still, but it's within the context of the sentence they're able to know what that vocabulary is. So what is Australopithecus? Think about it. What is that? Share it with your neighbor. What is that?
Then they gave the skull.
What is that word? What does that mean? Caesar?
A person that lived 1.75 million years ago.
Oh, you had something to say, Diana? Yes.
It's a name.
Exactly. It's the name of the person who lived 1.75 million years ago. Okay. Now you guys are going to watch me as I use this tree map to write down the topic sentence, which equals the and all the supporting details. Okay, in the introduction, this topic sentence, I hope you're finding it. Scientists, read it to me if you found it too. One of the visuals that I use is also a strategy. It's called a thinking map. A tree map, which I use in this lesson, is a thinking map that shows how you classify things into certain categories. And there are several other thinking maps, and I like to use those for some of the students that are visual learners especially. Now I'm going to have you guys fill in the tree map with these details. And we're going to do it with paragraph number 2. Read and find the topic sentence with your partner. Okay, let's read the topic sentence together. And First human people appeared on Earth is in Africa. Good. Pass the pencil to your neighbor so he or she can write it down now. And all the